So here we go with a quick overview of the Samsung S2 mobile phone, Android phone. It's hot off the press. As you can see, it is a very, very slick looking piece of engineering. I don't think I've seen very many phones this thin, let alone a smartphone of this kind of quality and power. First things first, the display. AMOLED, however you say that, plus, which is incredibly crisp and incredibly bright. You're seeing here it's actually running on automatic power saving mode, so it switches up and down depending on how much battery you have left. But it's actually just incredible. You can actually read it and run it on the lowest setting, and it's fine. You can see it in just about everything. If you want it in bright sunlight, just push it up to the bright sunlight, the brightest setting, and it's amazing. Responsive. I mean, this is definitely iPhone level responsiveness. And it's Gorilla Glass, so it's not flimsy. Not funny, strangely enough, the phone is not flimsy. There's been a fair amount of talk on the forums about the fact that it's a cheaply made phone, and it's not. It's very well designed in terms of the weight. I mean, it's incredibly light, and as you can see, the back panel is very thin and deliberately for weight and size purposes. But this is not a badly constructed phone. It is an optimally designed phone. So what's it like to use? I mean, I've been using it now for a few days, and it's very nice. I mean, it's great to have the power to do real both power and screen quality to do real browsing. Now, obviously, I'm on Wi-Fi at the moment, but 3G works as long as you have a good enough 3G supplier. It works well. But the responsiveness of the screen plus the quality of the processor means that you get a really excellent experience with using this. Probably certainly one of the best overall experiences in using a smartphone and doing browsing and things like that since the iPhone first came out, which is pretty impressive. The camera is an 8 megapixel. I've got shots up on the blog. It's to my mind, it's actually one of the best of its kind. I'm not a great fan of these camera on mobile phones, apart from Nokia's, which I believe are the best in the world and still are the best in the world. But for a non-Nokia, this is a very usable 8 megapixels. To my mind, crisper than the Sony Ericsson offerings. The output, which you can probably see on the site. Battery life, which is a crucial thing with these products. It's also, again, surprisingly effective. The battery is no worse than any first generation smartphone. And you'll find that it'll last you as long as you're not running GPS full flat out and things like that. It'll last you at least as long as a standard one. I've not noticed it running down within a day. So anybody who's talking about it lasting for an hour is really not just spinning you a line, as far as I can see. I love the interface on the new Android 2.3 is just a joy to use, to be honest with you, compared to the earlier ones. Crisp, clear, easy to make phone calls. Does with this processor, very responsive. Has a great set of features, in terms of customizability, and which is really the key of these phones versus the iPhone. This is these Android smartphones are customizable. You can you can change the home page, you can put widgets on, you can ultimately you can change the whole ROM, and make it a completely different phone. The fact you can take the battery out and use it again, and put a second battery in if you run out. There are so many clever and important things that make Android, to my mind, an optimum open platform to use. The phone, as a carry around, if I have some quibbles, it's really just silly quirks, and it's really just about the buttons. I find them a little interesting in position. I find myself quite often just hitting the power one by mistake, which can make things a little awkward. But overall, it's a great phone to use. I mean, genuinely a great phone. I mean, not just saying that because it's a trendy, hot off the press kind of thing. It's actually good for making phone calls, which will be a surprise to some people who are not that enthusiastic about smartphones as actual phones. I mean, a final point. I can see absolutely why Apple have sued Samsung. I'm not going to talk about iPhone killers, but there is, with products of this quality now reaching the Android market, there's actually no reason for anybody to exclude Android from their decision making when buying a smartphone. This is as good as any Apple product on the market, without question. In terms of specification, it actually, of course, blows away the iPhone 4. But I mean, even with it's hard to see that even with the advent of the iPhone 5, whenever that arrives, that there's going to be any significant specification differences between the two. I mean, the 8-megapixel camera. I mean, the fact that you can you have a choice of 16 or 32 gigabytes of internal RAM. 32 gig SD card on this. I mean, there's the specification list is just about complete. I can't think of anything apart from NFC which you'd want. I mean, it's a complete smartphone. So, do I like it? Unreservedly, really unreservedly, and excellent. And this is the second Samsung I've got close to over the past few years. The first was the Symbian 8510i, which was Symbian powered, and the strides that have happened in Samsung's product quality is nothing less than staggering. A great product, highly recommended.